federal judge ordered Memphis rapper Lontrell Williams Jr., who goes by Pooh Shiesty, to stay in custody after federal officials brought kidnapping and robbery charges against him.
Fox 4 Stephen Dial was in the courtroom today. He is outside tonight with more details on what happened. Stephen?
Steve, I sat directly behind Lontrell Williams Jr., who you guys said goes by the rap name Pooh Shiesty, for the entire hearing in the very small, tightly packed courtroom. And after back and forth from the prosecution and the defense, the federal judge said that she found probable cause in the alleged kidnapping and robbery charges that Williams Jr. faces involving Atlanta rapper Gucci Mane. And as the FBI special agent was giving testimony, I could see Williams Jr. shaking his head multiple times in disagreement with all of the allegations being laid out against him. An ankle monitor was placed on him in October of 2025 when he was released from federal prison. The FBI also admitted that they have not interviewed Gucci Mane or any of the other alleged victims, saying that DPD was the responding agency to this crime in January. And as of right now, they have not questioned them. They said they'll talk to them at a later date.
Yeah, Bradford Cohen, C-O-H-E-N, Sam Zengane, and John Helms.
And any questions? Just look random.
Yeah, you got it.
Thank you.
So we had a bond hearing today and a PC hearing today. I think that the relevant things that were said today that I thought were fascinating were that it took 3 months to build a case. And I think the reason for that was because the statements that were given on the evening that this occurred were very questionable. I think the way that the statements were made, what allegedly was witnessed and what wasn't witnessed, I think gave great pause to the FBI. The FBI doesn't take 3 months to arrest someone if they believe everything that was said on the night that it occurred. They were involved the first night and then nothing happened for 3 months. In addition to that, I thought was quite embarrassing was that an FBI agent says they don't have the resources to keep their eye on an individual. This is allegedly an individual that committed a crime that they then didn't watch to see if the guns were present, if the jewelry was present. And what didn't we hear today? What we didn't hear today is there is no contract, this mystery contract. They have no contract. They have no video of this alleged signing of a contract. They have no guns. They have no jewelry. They have none of that physical evidence. What they have is they have allegedly 5 individuals, one of them being a very well-known individual that is allegedly cooperating with the government and making these allegations against my client and many more. I'm going to take like 1 or 2 questions and then we're going to scoop.
You're essentially arguing they've got only a he said kind of case, no evidence.
Correct. Yeah, it's very fair. I think that this is it's a he said type of a case. I mean, obviously there's 5 individuals on one side. What we're missing are the other people that were present in the room, right? The owner of the studio, who says he didn't hear anything or see anything. The way they leave the studio, where no one is in concert with anybody else, no one's arguing with anyone else. One of the individuals says, "Hey, can I get my watches back?" Like, the story is quite unusual. And I think that the FBI knew that. I think the investigators knew that it was unusual. And I think that's why it took so long to make the arrest.
What is your response to
the next night? They didn't get warrants the next month. They didn't get warrants the month after. They waited 3 months to get warrants on whether or not there's guns, whether or not there's jewelry. How about their cell phones? How about the computers? That gives me great pause when I see a case that takes that long of individuals that we suspect were involved in that evening, where they're denying that it occurred or they're denying that they're giving statements to the government. I think that's unusual as well, because of what the government put forward today seems to negate those statements, but we'll have to see how this all shakes out. Listen, I'm just shocked that, you know, when they say there might be video out there, they don't have it. There might be this mystery contract, they don't have it. Oh, they were at Staples, you know, making copies. It's just a total guess. So, like, we're not here to guess. I'm here to look at the evidence, to weigh the evidence, and to make the best decision based on that. That'll all come out, and we'll give copies to everybody.
So did the feds even interview?
Look at my man.
Did the feds even interview any of the people yet? Any of the alleged victims?
So my understanding is the FBI has, over the past 3 or 4 months, has interviewed none of the alleged victims, and allegedly they all have future dates to give statements, but I have no idea if that's true. We're basing it on what the agent said on the stand, that each one of those witnesses from that evening is going to appear and give a statement to the federal authorities.
So RD never made a statement as of now?
Not to the FBI, but that evening it appears from the material that they produced and from the agent's testimony is that RD gave a statement that evening, but since that evening has not given another statement. But the FBI said in the future they're all scheduled to give statements, so we'll have to see. All right?
Yo, it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in on the latest update in the Pooh Shiesty case as he made a court appearance today where he was officially denied bond. And as of right now, will have to remain in the jail until the trial date comes along. But as y'all seen right there in the beginning, and I had a link in the description from Fox 4 out in Dallas where y'all can watch that in full as they spoke directly to Pooh Shiesty's lawyer, Brad Cohen, who has represented him before out in his last case that he had and represented several other celebrities in the Florida area. And he's let a lot more be known. And one key thing that stood out to me, it was several things, that there was somebody else at the studio, the owner. And we ain't even hear nothing about that unless I missed it. I didn't see that nowhere, nothing, or nobody speaking on that he was there as well. And he said he didn't see nothing. He didn't hear nothing at all. So that right there is a whole different thing. And now we know that the feds have not spoke to Gucci Mane or anybody else involved that they that had happened today, that Gucci Mane, the cameraman, and the security guy only spoke with Dallas PD. And to go back over it real quick, it says, Pooh Shiesty court appearance. The judge ruled that there was probable cause in the alleged kidnapping of Gucci Mane, ordering Lontrell Williams Jr., Pooh Shiesty, to stay in jail. Federal investigators say Pooh Shiesty pointed an AK-style pistol while demanding to be released from his contract. However, the FBI said they do not have the alleged contract involved in the dispute or any of the evidence seen online that led to Williams' arrest. The FBI also admitted to not having interviewed Gucci Mane or any of the other victims in the alleged incident, only using testimony given to the Dallas Police Department at the scene. As the FBI testified against Williams, he repeatedly shook his head, disagreeing with the charges being brought against him. Williams' defense pointed to multiple holes in the FBI's narrative of what happened. Now, I got to say this right here. When you have stuff like this going on, I'm not the expert. I'm not an investigator. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a detective. I'm not a federal agent. But I know it ain't about what you know. It's about what you can prove on either side. And that's just how it's going down. Now, when they say this, they don't have the contract. They don't have none of the physical evidence. They have photos on social media that they allege that these things went on with, but they don't have none of the items. Now, I did see in the complaint that they said they found one of the matching hoodies that one of the other guys had on and a weapon and things like that. But from what Brad is saying, that, hey, man, they ain't even talked to Gucci yet. They supposed to talk to them in the future. He also called out how the person who put the federal complaint together is new to the agency, been there 4 years, so they had to get somebody else in there. And this is just coming from him when you watch that in full right there. I don't know what's what, but we have to see. They said Gucci has not talked to the feds, only to Dallas PD. And that's a big, tall order. Everybody else got shipped to Dallas who was in Memphis or out of town. Pooh Shiesty was remaining there. They talked about him already being on basically federal house arrest, so he's staying there. His dad and Big 30 will be sent there as well. We have to see. They said there was no footage of the actual robbery going on. Man, I can't come up with this stuff. I can only go off of what they saying. Tell me what y'all think. We got more coming, more videos, all that. Stay out the way, stay safe, stay grinding, stay working. Most definitely stay prayed up and stay blessed and innocent until proven guilty for all the parties involved. We got to wait till the facts hit. We can only go off of what they saying online. More comings. Tap into the Patreon. Urban Politicians TV. Stay on your pivot for shit show.